In the next 15 minutes, something within the atmosphere around you will begin to shift. Archangel Michael says someone is preparing to offer you what they have been holding back. But you must receive this message before the moment passes beyond your reach. My child, my beloved, I have not come to fill your time with empty words today. I have come because heaven placed attention on this exact point in your path. And if you listen with a quiet heart, you will sense it before your mind can fully explain it. Something has been arranging itself around your life in silence, not with force, not with noise, but with divine purpose. You were led here because the timing is delicate, and what is drawing near cannot remain suspended forever. If your heart feels unusually alert as these words reach you, do not dismiss it as coincidence. That feeling is recognition. Before I go deeper, I ask only this of you. Remain with this message until it is complete, not because fear should hold you here, but because what is meant for your spirit is being revealed in layers. Those who move too quickly may pass over the very part that was prepared to guide them. If messages like this continue to pull at your spirit, stay connected and remain close. Heaven does not send every invitation again and again, and this space exists so that what is meant to reach you does not arrive too late. My child, my beloved, a movement is beginning now, and it will not introduce itself with loud signs. It will come like a quiet decision forming inside another person's heart. Someone has been standing near the edge of truth, carrying feelings they were not ready to speak aloud. They have held conversations with you in their mind. They have imagined what you might say, how you might look at them, whether you would receive them or turn away. What kept them silent before was not the absence of feeling, but the fear of what honesty might change. That fear is beginning to lose its grip. My child, my beloved, you may have already felt something shifting without knowing how to name it. A restlessness in your spirit, a sudden awareness of someone's absence, a strange pull towards something unfinished. This is not your imagination. Energy often moves before events appear in the visible world. Heaven always sends the signal before the moment arrives, because preparation is mercy. 15 minutes from now does not mean a clock must be watched. It means the window has opened and the movement has begun. My child, my beloved, there is a heart that has chosen honesty over comfort. This person has carried affection quietly, believing silence would protect both of you. They told themselves time would dissolve it. Instead, it deepened. Every attempt to move away only clarified what they already knew. You are not a passing presence. You became a reference point. And now, holding back feels heavier than stepping forward. My child, my beloved, do not misunderstand. This message is fantasy. Heaven does not speak in illusions. What is forming is human, imperfect, and vulnerable. This person is not arriving as a dream, but as someone willing to risk rejection to live in truth. That is why timing matters. When courage rises, it must be met with awareness. If ignored, it retreats, not because it disappears, but because it learns to protect itself. My child, my beloved, you are not meant to chase this moment. You were meant to recognize it. The shift happens when your posture changes from guarded to open. Not desperate, not demanding, simply receptive. Love does not require pursuit. When alignment exists, it moves naturally, like water finding its path. My child, my beloved, This message reaches you now because distractions have been placed around you lately. Doubts, old wounds, questions about your worth. These were not accidents. Resistance often rises right before breakthrough. The mind looks for reasons to stay familiar, even when the soul's ready for expansion. I tell you now, do not let past experiences decide the future that is approaching. My child, my beloved, someone is preparing words that matter. They are not perfect words, they are sincere ones. And sincerity carries power that rehearsed perfection never will. When they speak, it may come unexpectedly, through a message, a call, a moment that feels unplanned. Do not analyze it to death. Feel it first. Understanding can come later. My child, my beloved, if you have been asking heaven for clarity and matters of connection, this is your answer beginning to form. Not a sudden miracle that overwhelms you. Go to gradual alignment that respects your pace. Heaven does not force unions. It creates opportunities where free will can choose love without pressure. My child, my beloved, this is also a test of presence. Many miss what arrives because they are mentally elsewhere, reliving what hurt them, predicting what might fail. The invitation here is simple. Be here, be available, be willing to receive without trying to control the outcome. That posture changes everything. My child, my beloved, if your heart feels tender right now, do not harden it. Tenderness is not weakness. It is readiness. Only a heart that has learned from pain can recognize genuine intention when it appears. What is coming is not meant to repeat old cycles. It is meant to heal them. My child, my beloved, I say this gently but clearly. Delay does not cancel destiny, but it can complicate it. When moments knock softly, they expect acknowledgement, not avoidance. You are being asked to see, not to act impulsively. Awareness alone shifts the trajectory. My child, my beloved, heaven stands witness to what unfolds when courage meets openness. This is not about losing control. It is about trusting timing that was arranged beyond your understanding. 15 minutes from now is symbolic of readiness, not pressure. The heart moves when it feels safe to be seen. My child, my beloved, stay with this message. Let it settle. Let it breathe inside you. What is aligning does not require force. It requires recognition. And you were brought here because your soul already knows what your mind is still catching up to. Beloved one, listen carefully now, because moments like this rarely announce themselves twice. What is unfolding around you is subtle, almost invisible to anyone not paying attention. The universe does not shout when something sacred is aligning it. Whispers and waits to see who is present enough to hear it. There is a reason your thoughts have slowed slightly, a reason your chest feels heavier yet calmer at the same time. This is the space where truth prepares to enter, and nothing about this moment is accidental. You are not meant to stumble into this message by chance. Password adjusted, distractions delayed, impulses redirected. So you would arrive here before a decision solidified elsewhere. Someone has been standing at an emotional threshold, weighing silence against honesty, comfort against. Their heart has already chosen, even if their lips have not yet caught up. What changes everything is not their feeling, but their readiness to act on it. My child, my beloved, Stay with this message. Let it settle. Let it breathe inside you. What is aligning does not require force. It requires recognition. And you were brought here because your soul already knows what your mind is still catching up to. Beloved one, listen carefully now, because moments like this rarely announce themselves twice. What is unfolding around you is subtle, almost invisible to anyone not paying attention. The universe does not shout when something sacred is aligning it. Whispers and waits to see who is present. Enough to hear it. There is a reason your thoughts have slowed slightly. A reason your chest feels heavier yet calmer at the same time. This is the space where truth prepares to enter. And nothing about this moment is accidental. You are not meant to stumble into this message by chance. Password adjusted, distractions delayed, impulses redirected, so you would arrive here before decisions solidified elsewhere. Someone has been standing at an emotional threshold, weighing silence against honesty, comfort against. Their heart has already chosen, even if their lips have not yet caught up. What changes everything is not their feeling, but their readiness to act on it. Right now, unseen forces are softening resistance. Doubt that once felt immovable is loosening its grip. Fear that once dominated their reasoning is losing authority. This does not happen suddenly. It happens when longing outweighs self-protection. You may notice an unfamiliar comment entering your awareness, as if something unresolved is finally moving toward resolution. That sensation is alignment, not anxiety. Do not confuse patience with stagnation. What has appeared still for a long time was gathering strength beneath the surface. Growth is quiet until it is undeniable. The heart preparing to reach you has matured through hesitation, reflection, and inner conflict. That process matters because it ensures what comes forward. Now is not impulsive, but intention. There was a time when timing would have been wrong. Words spoken then would have collapsed under pressure. Intentions revealed earlier would have been misunderstood. Heaven delays not to punish, but to protect. Only when both sides are capable of receiving without distortion does movement begin. That moment has arrived, and it carries weight. Pay attention to the next interaction that feels unusually sincere. It may not arrive wrapped in dramatic gestures. It may come as vulnerability, honesty, or a question asked more carefully than usual. Meaning often disguises itself as simplicity. Those who expect fireworks miss the candle that warms the entire room. You are being asked to remain emotionally available without rushing toward conclusions. Anticipation should not turn into pressure. Presence should not become expectation. The power of this shift lies in allowing it to unfold naturally, without interference from old narratives that no longer apply to who you are now. There is also a lesson here about worth. You do not need to prove value to be chosen. You do not need to compete for affection that is already directed toward you. What approaches you does so because recognition has occurred. Your essence made an impression long before you realized it was being observed. Be mindful of your responses during this window. The energy you carry into conversations now shapes what follows. Calm invites honesty. Openness invites courage. Guardedness invites retreat. This is not about perfection, but about authenticity. Show up as you are, not as who you think you should be. Understand this clearly. Nothing meant for you will bypass you. However, timing determines ease. When awareness meets opportunity, the path remains smooth. When awareness lags, lessons repeat. You are being offered clarity now, so you do not have to learn through loss later. What has been withheld is not affection, but certainty. That certainty is forming. When it arrives, it will feel grounded rather than overwhelming. It will not destabilize your life. It will integrate into it. That is how you know it is aligned. Remain here mentally and emotionally. Do not drift. Do not dismiss what you sent simply because it lacks dramatic explanation. Some of the most meaningful shifts occur quietly, leaving no evidence except inner peace and forward movement. This message continues because preparation takes time. Truth settles gradually, like light adjusting after darkness. Allow yourself to absorb without forcing interpretation. Understanding will arrive organically, just as the next step will arrive naturally. Stay receptive. Stay aware. What is approaching is closer than it appears, and readiness on your side ensures nothing precious is missed. Precious soul, there is a stillness forming around you that did not exist before. And it is not empty. It is the pause that appears right before something meaningful steps forward. Many confuse this quiet with waiting, but it is actually readiness. The noise has been lowered so recognition can occur. You are not being rushed, yet you are not meant to drift either. This moment sits delicately between those two states, asking only for awareness. What is moving toward you? Carries intention shaped by reflection. This person did not arrive here through impulse or fantasy. Their emotions were tested by distance, hesitation, and self-questioning. Each delay refined their understanding until denial became impossible. When a heart reaches that stage, it no longer seeks reassurance from others. It seeks alignment with truth. That is the kind of energy that approaches you now. You may notice memories resurfacing unexpectedly, not to pull you backward, but to show you how much you have changed. Old reactions no longer fit. Former fears feel smaller. This contrast is important because it allows you to receive something new without projecting past outcomes onto it. Growth prepares the space. Honesty fills it. There is also a shift occurring within you that mirrors what is happening elsewhere. Your expectations have softened. Your defenses have loosened. You are no longer trying to predict every outcome. And that surrender is not weakness. It is maturity. When control relaxes, connection flows more freely. This internal adjustment is what makes the external movement possible. Timing has been precise because hearts carry consequences. A word spoken too early can create confusion. The truth revealed too late can create regret. Heaven arranged is intersections carefully. Carefully, ensuring both sides can stand in the moment without collapsing under it. You are now capable of holding what is about to be shared without fear or distortion. You may notice memories resurfacing unexpectedly, but to show you how much you have changed, old reactions no longer fit. Former fears feel smaller. This contrast is important because it allows you to receive something new without projecting past out. Comes onto it. Growth prepares the space. Honesty fills it. There is also a shift occurring within you that mirrors what is happening elsewhere. Your expectations have softened. Your defenses have loosened. You are no longer trying to predict every outcome. And that surrender is not weakness. It is maturity. When control relaxes, connection flows more freely. Listen, Tunnel adjustment is what makes the external movement possible. Timing has been precise because hearts carry consequences. A word spoken too early can create confusion. A truth revealed too late can create regret. Heaven arranges intersections carefully, ensuring both sides can stand in the moment without collapsing under it. You are now capable of holding what is about to be shared without fear or distortion. Do not underestimate subtle signs in the hours ahead. Pay attention to tone, timing, and intention, rather than surface details. Meaning often hides in how something is said rather than what is said. A pause before speaking, a softness that was not present before, an effort to be understood rather than admired. These are markers of sincerity. You are not being asked to decide anything immediately. You are being invited to witness something real as it emerges. Observation without judgment creates safety. Safety invites honesty. Honesty opens doors that force never could. Allow the sequence to unfold without interference. If at any point you feel the urge to withdraw, pause and ask yourself whether it is intuition or old conditioning speaking. Wisdom feels calm. Fear feels urgent. Discernment now protects what is forming. Not every instinct deserves obedience, especially those shaped by experiences that no longer define you. Where is value in staying grounded during this phase? Remain connected to your routine, your breath, your present life. Do not suspend yourself waiting for something to happen. When alignment arrives, it integrates naturally rather than disrupting everything around it. What is healthy adds stability, not chaos. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be for this intersection to occur cleanly. The sense of anticipation you feel is not anxiety about loss. It is recognition of proximity. Something unresolved is preparing to resolve itself. Let this message sit with you rather than rush past it. Its purpose is not to excite, but to steady. When clarity replaces tension, decisions become easier and outcomes become gentler. That is the path opening now. Remain attentive. Remain receptive. The unfolding has already begun, and awareness ensures you move with it rather than after it. There is a subtle recalibration happening within you, almost like an internal compass correcting itself without effort. You may not notice it consciously, yet your reactions are changing. Situations that once triggered uncertainty no longer carry the same weight. This internal steadiness is not accidental. It is preparation. When something meaningful approaches, chaos fades so discernment can take its place. You are being positioned to recognize sincerity without second-guessing it. Elsewhere, a realization has matured fully. What was once confusing has clarified. What was once questioned has settled. This person understands now that avoiding vulnerability costs more than facing it. Their hesitation was never about lack of feeling. It was about responsibility. They wanted certainty before stepping forward, not excitement. That distinction matters because it shapes what follows. What comes from reflection lasts longer than what comes from impulse. Energy does not move randomly. It responds to readiness. Your emotional environment has shifted enough to support honesty without collapse. That is why the timing feels delicate rather than dramatic. Nothing is forcing itself into your life. It is aligning naturally, like two paths finally intersecting after running parallel for longer than. You may sense an urge to interpret every sign, but restraint will serve you better now. Overanalysis dilutes clarity. Presence sharpens it. Let moments speak for themselves. Let interactions reveal meaning organically. Truth does not require decoding when it is genuine. It resonates quietly and settles comfortably. What you are stepping into does not demand perfection. It invites authenticity. You are not required to perform, impress, or adapt yourself into something else. What is approaching recognizes you as you are now, not as you once were or who you feared you needed to become. That recognition is the foundation of anything stable. Pay attention to how peace accompanies this unfolding rather than tension. Anxiety belongs to uncertainty. Karma accompanies alignment. If something feels grounding instead of destabilizing, that is confirmation without words. The body often understands before the mind catches up. There is also a release happening beneath awareness. Old expectations are loosening. Patterns that no longer serve you are quietly dissolving. This clearing creates room for something that does not need to compete with the past. Nothing new thrives in crowded emotional spaces. Space has been made intentionally. Do not hurry to name what is beginning to appear. A label can make something feel smaller while it is still growing into its full meaning. Let it remain open for now, untouched by pressure, allowed to breathe in its natural form until its purpose becomes clear. When clarity becomes firm, it will not need urgency to convince you. It will not demand attention through chaos or force. It will feel calm, certain, and simple, as though your spirit has known it all along and is only now able to recognize it fully. My beloved, you are being reminded that true connection does not always enter with noise. Sometimes it comes quietly, almost gently, to see whether your heart is present enough to notice. In moments like this, attentiveness carries more power than intensity. Those who remain present receive the fullness of what is being offered. Those who are distracted only catch pieces of it and may misunderstand what was meant to guide them. This is why your awareness matters so deeply right now. This phase is short, yet meaningful, not because it will disappear suddenly, but because the way you meet it will influence everything that follows. One calm response, one choice to stay open, one moment of patience can shift an outcome more than forceful effort ever could. Allow yourself to stay grounded while remaining aware. Keep living, keep breathing, keep moving forward with steadiness. What is truly aligned with you will not need to tear through your life to be seen. It will weave itself in quietly, without disorder, without confusion, without pulling you away from your center. That is how you recognize what belongs. What is unfolding has not stopped. Nothing has been lost, and nothing meant for you has passed beyond reach. You are standing exactly where you need to be, prepared to witness what comes next with clarity instead of uncertainty. So do not rush to define what is still becoming. Do not close your understanding too early around something that is still expanding. Let it reveal itself in its own rhythm, because what is real will not require you to chase it or force it into meaning. When the truth settles, it will be steady. It will feel natural. It will carry a quiet certainty that does not need drama to prove its importance. My child, connection often begins softly, not because it is weak, but because it is sacred enough to approach gently. Remain present enough to receive it fully. Stay attentive enough to notice the small signs, the careful pauses, the unspoken shifts, and the quiet openings. This moment may seem brief, but your awareness within it will shape the direction of what comes after. A single response, a single choice to remain open alters outcomes more than effort ever could. Let yourself remain grounded while staying aware. Continue living, breathing, moving forward as usual. What aligns naturally will weave itself into your life without disruption. That is how you recognize what belongs. The unfolding continues quietly. Nothing has stalled. Nothing has been missed. You are exactly where you should be to witness what comes next with clarity rather than confusion. A gentle awareness is settling into your thoughts now, not demanding attention, yet refusing to be IG. It feels like recognition rather than surprise. This is what happens when truth approaches slowly enough to be received without shock. You are not meant to brace yourself. You are meant to remain present. Presence is the doorway through which meaningful change enters without resistance. Somewhere beyond your immediate view, a choice has been finalized internally, not announced, not displayed, simply accepted. When a heart reaches this point, it stops negotiating with fear. It understands that avoidance only postpones growth. That understanding carries weight because it transforms intention into motion. What was once uncertain is now directed. Notice how your inner dialogue has softened lately. The harsh questioning has eased. The constant measuring of outcomes has quieted. This shift matters more than you realize. A calm internal environment allows sincerity to land without distortion. When emotional noise fades, genuine connection becomes audible. You are being reminded subtly that timing is not about speed. It is about harmony. Events arrived when all parts involved can hold them without strain. That balance has been achieved. Nothing is rushing forward. Nothing is pulling away. Everything is aligning at its natural pace. There may be moments ahead that feel ordinary on the surface, yet carry unusual significance underneath. A simple exchange, a shared silence, a moment of eye contact that lingers slightly longer than expected. These are not accidents. They are signals revealing comfort, familiarity, and readiness without announcement. It is important now to trust your ability to perceive sincerity. You have earned that discernment through experience. Doubt no longer serves as protection. Awareness does. When something feels grounded rather than chaotic, steady rather than consuming, that is not coincidence. That is alignment. You are not being asked to surrender your boundaries. You are being invited to soften your guard where safety has been established. Strength is knowing when to remain firm and when to allow entry. Wisdom recognizes the difference instinctively. As this continues to unfold, resist the urge to fast forward emotionally. Let each moment arrive fully before moving to the next. Anticipation does not need to replace presence. What is meant for you will not vanish because you stayed calm. The atmosphere around this connection feels different. Because it is different, there is no urgency to convince, impress, or secure. What exists does not need to be proven. It simply needs to be acknowledged. Recognition. Create space for honesty to breathe. Remain attentive without becoming vigilant. Awareness should feel like, not heavy. When you move with openness rather than expectation, you allow events to reveal themselves clearly. Control blurs perception. Trust sharpens. This phase will not last forever, not because it ends abruptly, but because it transitions naturally. What begins as awareness becomes understanding. What begins as understanding becomes movement. Each stage unfolds only when the previous one has settled fully. Allow this message to remain with you as you move through the next hours, not as a prediction, but as orientation. You are not waiting for something external to define your direction. You are aligning internally, so what arrives me to you fully prepared. Nothing here requires effort. Nothing here demands force. Everything here responds to readiness. Stay present. Stay grounded. What continues to unfold does so with intention, clarity, and care. Something subtle is reorganizing your emotional landscape, almost as if your inner world is making space without asking permission. You might notice a clearer sense of self, a steadiness that does not rely on reassurance. This inner clarity is important because it changes how you receive what is approaching. When the heart is settled, it can recognize truth without confusion. You are not meant to guess anymore. You are meant to perceive. What has been forming beyond your immediate awareness carries sincerity shaped by restraint. This person has learned through silence what words could not teach them. They have confronted their own contradictions, their hesitation, their tendency to wait for perfect certainty. That process refined their intention until it became solid enough to move forward without collapse. What emerges from such reflection is not fleeting emotion, but grounded resolve. You may feel moments of heightened sensitivity where small details stand out more clearly than usual. This is not vulnerability in the fragile sense. It is a 2-minute awareness sharpens when something meaningful draws near. Trust this heightened perception. It exists so you can respond appropriately rather than react impulsively. Nothing about this unfolding requires urgency. Pressure belongs to instability. What is aligning does not need to rush you or corner you. It respects your pace, your boundaries, your readiness. That respect is a sign of maturity, not distance. Healthy connection honors timing instead of forcing it. As interactions continue, you might notice an unfamiliar ease replacing anticipation. This is not indifference, it is safety. When something fits, the body relaxes instead of bracing. That response is worth noticing. It signals compatibility at a deeper level than excitement ever could. You may feel moments of heightened sensitivity where small details stand out more clearly than usual. This is not vulnerability in the fragile sense. It is a 2-minute awareness sharpens when something meaningful draws near. Trust this heightened perception. It exists so you can respond appropriately rather than react impulsively. Nothing about this unfolding requires urgency. Pressure belongs to instability. What is aligning does not need to rush or corner you. It respects your pace, your boundaries, your readiness. That respect is a sign of maturity, clarity, not distance. Healthy connection honors timing instead of forcing it. As interactions continue, you might notice an unfamiliar ease replacing anticipation. This is not indifference. It is safety. When something fits, the body relaxes instead of bracing. That response is worth noticing. It signals compatibility at a deeper level than excitement ever could. You are also being released from old internal negotiations. You no longer need to convince yourself that patience is strength, or that waiting equals loss. What is meant for you aligns without struggle. When effort feels unnecessary, you are in the right place. Be mindful not to overlay past experiences onto present moments. Each situation deserves to be met as it is, not as something it resembles. Your growth allows you to respond differently now, and that difference changes outcomes dramatically. The coming exchange may feel understated, yet its impact will linger. Meaningful shifts often announce themselves quietly, leaving clarity instead of chaos in their wake. Let understanding arrive naturally rather than demanding explanation immediately. You are not being tested. You are being trusted, trusted to remain present, to listen fully, to respond honestly. That trust exists because you are capable of holding what is shared without fear-driven reaction. Allow yourself to move through the next phase with calm curiosity rather than expectation. Curiosity keeps the heart open without attachment. Expectation narrows perception. What unfolds benefits from spacious attention. This alignment is not fragile, but it is responsive. How you show up matters, not through performance, but through authenticity. Being yourself fully is the only requirement. Let this awareness accompany you gently rather than weigh on you. You are not waiting for permission. You are already positioned correctly. What comes next will meet you where you stand, not where you were. Stay present. Stay receptive. The movement continues with intention, and clarity will deepen as each moment settles into the next. A quiet confidence is beginning to replace uncertainty within you, not the loud kind that needs valid. This shift is important because it changes how you receive what is unfolding. You are no longer reaching outward for answers. You are becoming capable of recognizing truth the moment it stands in front of you. That recognition does not rush. It settles. What has been developing on the other side of this alignment is not dramatic, yet it is decisive. A realization has crossed a threshold where retreat no longer feels honest. When that happens, silence becomes heavier than speech. The heart understands that remaining hidden would mean betraying itself. That understanding creates movement, even if the steps taken are careful and measured. You may notice that your intuition feels clearer now, less clouded by fear-based imagination. This clarity allows you to sense intention without needing confirmation. When sincerity is present, it carries a distinct calm. It does not confuse or overwhelm. It feels grounded, almost familiar, as if it belongs naturally in your life rather than disrupting it. The coming moments ask you to remain emotionally available without becoming reactive. Availability does not mean vulnerability without boundaries. It means being willing to listen without immediately defending or predicting outcomes. This balance allows honesty to surface safely. When people feel safe, they speak truthfully. There is no requirement here to decide anything quickly. What unfolds does not demand immediate commitment or response. It seeks acknowledgement before action. Acknowledgement is powerful because it validates presence without forcing direction. Directions reveals itself when acknowledgement is genuine. You are also releasing an old pattern of bracing for disappointment. That pattern served the purpose once, but it is no longer necessary. Growth has changed your capacity to handle complexity. You can now hold uncertainty without panic, curiosity without attachment, openness without self-betrayal. This emotional maturity creates space for something healthier to enter. Pay attention to how natural interactions feel during this period. Effortless communication is not born, it is stable. When words do not need constant correction or explanation, it indicates mutual understanding. That is a foundation, not a lack of depth. This unfolding is not meant to consume your thoughts or pull you away from your life. What aligns with you integrates seamlessly. It adds to your sense of self rather than replacing it. Anything that demands you abandon yourself was never meant to stay. Allow moments to arrive as they are without mentally rushing ahead. The future does not need to be imagined right now. Presence carries more information than projection ever could. When you remain present, clarity reveals itself step by step. You are being guided to trust the calm rather than chase intensity. Intensity fades, Commodores. What approaches you does so with steadiness, not urgency. And that steadiness is what makes it sustainable. Let this message accompany you lightly. As you move forward, it is not a burden or a warning. It is orientation. You are aligned, aware, and prepared to receive what continues to unfold without fear or force. The movement is ongoing. Nothing has stalled. Nothing has been missed. Awareness keeps you exactly where you need to be as the next moment arrives naturally. The kind that does not depend on outcomes or explanations. It feels steady, almost reassuring, as though something within you already understands that what is folding does not require force. This calm is not passivity, it is alignment. When inner resistance dissolves, perception sharpens, and you begin to notice truth without effort. That is the state you are being guided into. Allow moments to arrive as they are without mentally rushing ahead. The future does not need to be imagined right now. Presence carries more information than projection ever could. When you remain present, clarity reveals itself step by step. You are being guided to trust the calm rather than chase intensity. Intensity fades, Commodores. What approaches you does so with steadiness, not urgency. And that steadiness is what makes it sustainable. Let this message accompany you lightly. As you move forward, it is not a burden or a warning. It is orientation. You are aligned, aware, and prepared to receive what continues to unfold without fear. The movement is ongoing. Nothing has stalled. Nothing has been missed. Awareness keeps you exactly where you need to be as the next moment arrives naturally. The kind that does not depend on outcomes or explanations. It feels steady, almost reassuring, as though something within you already understands that what is unfolding does not require force. This calm is not passivity. It is alignment. When inner resistance dissolves, perception sharpens, and you begin to notice truth without. That is the state you are being guided into. What has been forming elsewhere has reached a point of internal clarity. Confusion has been replaced by acceptance, and hesitation has given way to resolve. This did not happen overnight. It took reflection, distance, and honesty with oneself. The result is a willingness to move forward without guarantees, driven not by fantasy, but authenticity. That kind of movement carries weight because it is grounded in self-awareness. You make sense that your emotional responses are becoming more measured. Situations that once felt uncertain now feel neutral or even steady. This shift is important because it allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react instinctively. When emotional balance is present, communication becomes clearer and misunderstandings lose there is no urgency attached to what is approaching, and that absence of pressure is intentional. Healthy alignment does not rush or demand. It respects timing, boundaries, and individuality. Anything meant to last arrives with patience rather than insistence. That patience creates space for genuine connection to grow without strain. As moments unfold, pay attention to how grounded you feel rather than how excited. Excitement fluctuates. Grounding remains. When something truly belongs in your life, it will not disturb your center or pull you away from yourself. It will settle in quietly, becoming part of your rhythm without creating confusion. It will add meaning, not distraction, and that gentle sense of fitting into place is something your spirit can trust. You are also beginning to release an old pattern of expecting loss before it ever arrives. There was a time when that habit felt like protection, when preparing for disappointment seemed safer than hoping with an open heart. But that way of guarding yourself no longer matches the person you are becoming. Awareness is now taking the place of defense. Awareness lets you see clearly without building walls before they are needed. This change will also affect how others respond to your presence. During this phase, interactions may feel honest without becoming intense, meaningful without needing to become dramatic. Words may be spoken with more care. Pauses may carry more weight. Small gestures may feel deliberate rather than careless or impulsive. These quiet details matter because they reveal respect, thoughtfulness, and a deeper level of presence. Notice them gently, but do not rush to analyze everything too closely. There is wisdom in allowing a moment to unfold before trying to name it. Meaning can come later, after understanding has had time to settle fully within you. For now, simply observing is enough. When you observe without judgment, truth has room to reveal itself naturally. You are not being asked to stop your life or wait motionless while something finds its place. Keep living fully. Keep moving through your world. Keep staying connected to your own heart. What is truly meant to remain with you will find its way into your life without causing disorder. That quiet, seamless integration is one of the clearest signs of alignment. This message is not only about what may happen next. It is about becoming ready. Readiness allows you to meet what arrives with clarity instead of confusion. When you are truly prepared, what matters will not pass by unnoticed. Remain aware, steady, and open. What is unfolding will continue to move quietly, guided by purpose rather than urgency. Each moment is building upon the one before it, leading you closer to the understanding you are meant to receive.